Hello everyone, I am Dr. Rupali. I am going to talk about this topic structure of integument or structure of skin. The skin is the largest part of integumentary system that covers the body. It is the largest organ by mass and size. Now we see the definition of integument. The term integument is applied to outermost protective covering of animal body, the skin and its derivative. The integument is also include conjunctiva of eyeball and external eardrums. It is also known as jack of all trades, means it performs several functions like protection, locomotion, secretion, excretion, food storage, temperature control and other miscellaneous functions. So the skin which is known as the jack of all trade. Now we will see the different layer of skin. The skin which is composed of three layers. First is epidermis, second is dermis, third one is a hypodermis. The first epidermis is the outermost layer of skin that does not have any blood vessel. The nutrition which is provided by the epidermis through the capillaries of dermis. The epidermis having different 5 layers, we will discuss later. The second is the dermis. Dermis is the second layer of skin which is serve as a location for the appendages of the skin. Here this dermis which is also known as the corium, which is the inner layer of skin. It consists of connective tissues which is made up of dense collagen fibers, fibroblasts, nerve cells and histocytes. The collagen fibers which is present in dermis, which consist of enzyme collagenase, which is help in or which is responsible in the wound healing. Third and last part of skin is hypodermis, which is also known as the subcutaneous adipose layer, which is called as a basement membrane. This is all about the layers of skin. So we will see the first layer of epidermis. The epidermis is outermost covering. This epidermis is originated from the layer which is known as the ectoderm. So the epidermis having the ectodermal derivatives. Epidermis is composed of 5 different layers. First one is the stratum germinativum. The stratum germinativum is the innermost layer and actively divide cells. Here the second layer is spongiosum. It is also known as the prickle cells. The cells of the thin layer possesses the cells connected to one another with the basement membrane. This stratum spongiosum, which is a superficial to the stratum germinativum and produce laminar bodies. Third one is the stratum granulosum. It is a very thin layer which is made up of from the keratinocytes cells, which appear inside that granulars are found. Here this keratinohyaline, which is a protein present in that granules. So keratinohyaline is the precursor of keratin, which is found in that layer. Stratum lucidium, that stratum lucidium is a fourth superficial layer to the stratum granulosum, which is found in the palm and sole region of epidermis. Fourth one is the stratum corneum. This stratum corneum layer is the outermost layer of epidermis, which consists of the cornified cells. The cytoplasm of the cells which is present in that layer corneum, which is known as which is the cornified cell, and that cornified cell is also known as the cornicocytes. Inside that cell there is a cytoplasm, and that cytoplasm having a flattened with that of the fibrous protein, which is known as the keratin, and it also contains the phospholipids and the glycogen. This is all about the 4 different layers of epidermis. Then dermis. This is the second layer, deepest layer, inner layer of the skin. It is a connective tissue layer which is made up of dense, stout collagen fibers, fibroblasts, histoblast, then the collagen fibers, which consist of the special type of the enzyme which is known as the collagenase, which is responsible for the wound healing purpose. The dermis, which is made up of from 2 layers, stratum papillary and the stratum reticulare. So in stratum papillary, this is the first layer of the dermis, which is composed of loose areolar connective tissue. Second is the stratum reticulare, which lie under the papillary, composed of dense irregular connective tissues. The dermis, which consists of the special type of pigment cells. There are 4 type of pigment bearing cells which is found in the dermis. First one is the chromatophores. This is the type of pigment cell which consists of which provide the coloration to the integument. This is the first pigment cell found in the dermis. Second is the melanophore, which contain melanin, brown, grey, or sometimes lack of pigments are found in that layer. Third type of the pigment cell is the lipophore, which contain the keratinoid, produce yellow, red, orange pigment, erythrophores and xanthophores. Fourth pigment bearing cell is the iridophore, which contain the crystals of guanine, causes the iridescence in vertebrate. This is all about the layer of epidermis and the dermis. Then we will see the derivatives. The first derivatives is the epidermal derivatives. Epidermal derivatives are of 2 types, epidermal glands and epidermal scales. Inside the epidermal gland there are the several type of the glands are present, and in epidermal scale there are also the different scales are found. So first of all we see about the epidermal glands. These epidermal glands arises in epidermis, but often it is involved in the dermis. They are formed by the stratum germinativum layer. The epidermal gland are classified on the basis of number of cell, then the method of excretion and method of secretion. So first of all, on the basis of number of cell, the epidermal glands are classified into 2 types, multicellular and the unicellular. Second is the method of excretion. It consists of 3 different type: holocrine, epicrine, merocrine. Third one is the methods of secretion, which is also having the 3 different type, that is the mucous gland, serous gland and the sebaceous gland. So on the basis of number of cell, the epidermal gland consists of the first unicellular gland, which is the epidermal gland. The name indicated it having the single cell. They secrete the mucus. This unicellular gland of epidermis are having different types on the basis of their shapes. First one is the sacciform cells, which secrete large membrane bound toxic products to repel the animal, which is used for the repelling the animals. Second cell is the granular cell, which secrete the mucus in skin of lamprey and fishes. Third one is the goblet cell, wide apical end and narrow bases secrete the mucus in chondrichthyes and osteichthyes. Third type of cell is the Kluge cell, which is elongated, nucleated and secrete the mucus. This is the first epidermal gland on the basis of number of cell, that is the unicellular cell. Then the multicellular gland, which is again the epidermal gland, and these are found on the basis of a number of cell. The name indicated it having the number of cells in that gland. It invades in the dermal region. The multicellular gland are classified on the basis of their shape into different parts. First one is the two different parts, saccular shape classification and tubular shape classification. So we are now see first the saccular shape classification. This saccular shape classification is composed of three types: simple saccular, simple branch saccular, composed saccular. First is the simple saccular, which is that simple saccular having only one expanded bulb at the end of the duct. The example is the poisonous and mucous gland of amphibians. Second is the simple branch saccular, which having many bulb at the end of exterior duct. The example of that type of saccular shaped multicellular gland is the meibomial gland of eyelids and sebaceous gland of skin. Then third one is the compound saccular, which is composed of several simple saccular glands. Example is the mammary gland of metatherian and eutherian mammals. This is all about the classification of multicellular gland on the basis of saccular shape. Then the second is the tubular shape classification of multicellular gland. Here there are four different types. First one is a simple tubular, means it having the short blind tube located in the dermis. Example is the thumb pad, which is found in the male anurans. Then the simple coiled tubular, which is a long coiled narrow tube, distal end located in epidermis. Third one is the simple branch tubular, distal end divided two or more terminal portion may or may not be coiled. The example is the sweat gland, large sweat gland, which is found in the armpits. Then compound tubular, which is composed of large tubular gland. The example is the mammary gland of the monotreme. This is all about the tubular shape classification of multicellular glands. So in this slide we will discuss about the different multicellular gland on the basis of their shapes. The next is the glands on the basis of their secretion. You know that very well in previous slide. There are three different glands on the basis of their excretion: holocrine gland, merocrine gland, apocrine gland. Holocrine gland, their secretion is the sebum, which is released with of the glandular dead cells. Example is the oil and sebaceous gland of mammals and the birds. Merocrine glands are the second type of the gland on the basis of their excretion. A gland whose secretory cells provide a secretion but are not destroyed or damaged during the process. Example is sweat gland. Third one is the apocrine gland, secrete only the substance. Example is the urophageal gland, which is found at the on the tail region of bird, then which is used for the prickling, piercing their feathers. Then meibomial glands, which is also found in the eyelids. Ceruminous gland, which is found in a ear. This is all about the three type of the gland on the basis of their excretion. Then the epidermal scales. Epidermal scales are the horny structure which is made up of from the keratinocyte cells, which is found at the stratum corneum layer of epidermis. The epidermal scale are the horny structure developed by the accumulation of keratin in the cell of the epidermis. What is the function of that scale? That is scales serve as exoskeleton of vertebrates for protection of body. Here epidermal derivatives, that derivatives are of four different type. Horn, first one is the horn, second is beak, and third one is baleen, and fourth one is the claws and talons. So we will see the first one, horns. You know very well horns, in which is found in different cows, buffalo, ox, bison, wild beasts, etc. These horns are a cornified layer of the integument. Their core is in bone of dermal origin. They retain ear around and go throughout the animal life. This is all about the horns. Second is beak. You know very well about the beak which is found in the birds, which is also the made up of from the keratinized sheath of keratinized sheath or keratinized cell, which is found in the corneum layer of epidermis. Then the third one is the baleen. Baleen, found in some whales, is a series of keratinized plates that arise from the oral epithelium. These sheets hang from the plate along its length. Fourth one is the claws and talon, which is curved, laterally composed of alpha keratin of the epidermis. It consists of root and a shaft or remaining length of the stands. This is the epidermal derivatives of skin. Then dermal derivatives. What is the function of dermal derivatives? That serve as a exoskeleton of vertebrate for protection of the body. There are 5 different type of the dermal scale. First one is the cosmoid scale, placoid scale, rhomboid scale, cycloid scale, and the ctenoid scale. These all 6 scales are found in some fishes, in different fishes. Here in that topic we discuss about the integument, definition of integument, structure of integument or skin, then different derivatives of epidermis and dermis. So in that topic we discuss the structure of integument. Thank you everyone.